Hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to another live Manchester United news and latest Manchester United transfer news update show. I'm sorry I'm like 5 minutes late to this live show. I've been having connection issues all day, so just please let me know what the quality is like in this video, and if it starts going blurry, I'll share my screen and sort that out. The Wi-Fi is trying to kill me, but Eriksen, De Jong and Martinez are the names that we will be discussing in today's show. Offers made, bids made, Eriksen choosing Manchester United, and it seems like stuff is finally starting to happen. You know, I've practically got McDonald's Wi-Fi, but just let me know what the audio and visual quality is like, and if it's poor, then I will sort that out. I do apologise, but I want to get into the news and all of that. We've got news of from Luckhurst saying that United are targeting at least 5 signings. Sort of what the plan is. Very good sources linking us to Lisandro Martinez, who's also been linked to Arsenal. A little bit of news on Timber. Of course, Frenkie De Jong news. United are putting in their second offer. There was something that came out from Romano last night, and I can't remember what he said. I didn't write it down, but I will figure out what Romano said last night as well. And just lots of other news as well. I mean, we've been linked to a few players here and there, but it's looking good for Eriksen. It's looking good for De Jong, and I think the Martinez link is a good link, but it's not as strong as Eriksen and De Jong. And it seems Eriksen and De Jong are integral to Ten Hag's plans and integral to Ten Hag's midfield plans as well. So hopefully the Wi-Fi isn't too awful, but do keep me updated on that as well. I am doing good, thank you very much. And without CDM, does not matter what other players we get. I do agree, we do need a Matrix replacement. No, it doesn't have to be an out-and-out 6, doesn't have to be a player that would hold on their own in the 4-3-3, but we need a defensive-minded player to play next to De Jong. Because Fred is an 8. Fred under Ragnick is an 8. Pressing was the best out of Fred. He's not a 6. Matic, our only 6 is gone. McTominay again is an 8. He's useless as a 6. He's not a 6. Donny's not a 6. I generally would play Donny, De Jong and Bruno right now, because and that's not going to work. That's not going to work at all. Like, you can think it will work, it sounds nice, it ain't going to work, but not because we haven't got a 6. We haven't got a player that might not be an out-and-out DM, but they can hold in a pivot, and our best player for that's probably James Garner, and he's not really that type of player yet, and he's not Premier League experienced and all of that. So we might have to keep James Garner if we don't sign a DM. And we reportedly wanted 5 signings, and I did put on Twitter who I think those 5 signings are and all of that, but we do need to get a DM as well. Where will Bruno play? Well, I think if we do get Eriksen, Bruno will play games, Eriksen will play games. Eriksen's old, he's not going to start every game. But Bruno could be shipped off the right to accompany Eriksen. I think Bruno's more likely to be shipped off wide than Eriksen, or Bruno could even maybe be played as a false 9 if we don't get a striker. I don't know if that would work. It might work in a Ten Hag system as well. Frenkie De Jong is our only midfield giant and will greatly lessen the impact. Needs a proper partner, 100%, Andrew. This is what I've been saying for a while. You know, Frenkie De Jong to United, brilliant signing, great signing, but you need to get a partner for him. And you know, Eriksen's not that partner. Eriksen's your Mata replacement. Eriksen's your backup to Bruno. You could partner De Jong and maybe Donny, but does it work? It's gone already. We still need to get someone in there. Is it a Kone? Is it Sangare? Is it a Lemar? Do we go for Edson Alvarez or Ajax? Do we go for Kante and on a short-term deal and all of that? I mean, let me know who you'd get. I put on Twitter today, if, let's say, Bruno wasn't in the picture. Now, Bruno will be in the picture. I like Bruno. But let's say Ten Hag wants a midfield of De Jong and Eriksen. Let me know in the live chat or in the comments if you're not watching live. Who would you partner De Jong and Eriksen with? For me, I think about Sangare. Not sure if there's a proper passer in there. I'm not 100% sure if it will work. Do you go with someone like Enzo Fernandez, as someone has mentioned? As you said, do you go with Edson Alvarez of Ajax, who I'm not too familiar with? Lemar or Sangare, just get it done. I think Lemar would be a really good deal. RB Leipzig do not want him to go to Bayern Munich. They want to sell to another league. He would be 20 million euros or 18 million pounds. So definitely, I think Lemar would be a good deal. Again, I know Lemar isn't an out-and-out defensive midfielder, but I think he's got the defensive qualities to partner Frenkie De Jong. And having played in the Leipzig system, he can play in a press and quite a high-energy system, which is obviously what Ten Hag wants to recreate, the kind of Barcelona, kind of Ajax press, high-energy things as well. I agree Ten Hag must think differently. I think Ten Hag does want a midfield partner for Frenkie De Jong, because Laurie Whitwell, who gets inside information, top journalist, you know, The Athletic, I've always said this about The Athletic, you pay for The Athletic. Athletic don't make money per views, they make money per subscription. So when a journalist doesn't make money per views, they're not going to lie to clickbait you. They have the time and energy and the finances to actually find out proper information. And Laurie Whitwell's obviously at the Athletic, and he said that Ten Hag wants two midfielders and linked us to Edson Alvarez and Kante, and those are genuine links. Now, whether we'll get them or not, we'll have to wait out and see. It has been made very clear by lots and lots of journalists that Manchester United's plan is to build a team around Frenkie De Jong, and that Manchester United want to get Frenkie De Jong in before anyone else. And apparently it's not a matter that we're missing out on targets. It's a matter of we won't want to get our other targets until we've got Frenkie De Jong, so we know what the budget is, and then we know we can build a team around him. And maybe once De Jong is done, which looks set to be done this week, it is week 6, and United takes 6 to 8 weeks to get a deal done. So we are in actually United might finally get something done territory. Maybe we'll see those Edson Alvarez or those Kante links link up, maybe increase the chances of a partner for De Jong, which I thought was really interesting as well. Was so the European lad on Twitter, I think we all know who the European lad is on Twitter now, but he is like the Ajax fan. He's an Ajax fan, and he translates a lot of Dutch quotes to English for us from really good Dutch journalists that work for like the Telegraph and Dutch, like My Way. And he's obviously said, and he follows Ajax, but Ajax are getting rid of Haller, Gravenbach, Mazzari, whatever. I can't say the names, fumbled the names, but they're getting rid of a lot of players at Ajax. And he said he believes Timber will stay. He even said he believes Lisandro and Martinez will stay, which is an interesting one because United and Arsenal are definitely pushing for him. And I will get into Lisandro Martinez in a second. But he says the player he could see leaving Ajax is Edson Alvarez. Now, that's a player that the Athletic, Laurie Whitwell, have linked us to, and Edson Alvarez is a CDM. And maybe he could be that partner for Frenkie De Jong. I think we'll have to wait and see. I think if we are going to be linked to a DM, it won't be till next week. There's been minor links to Edson Alvarez. There's been minor links to Sangare. There's been links to Kante. But I think we'll have to wait and see. I really hope we are going in for another midfielder because I think Frenkie De Jong's a great signing. If you stick him next to someone in a pivot, it lessens the impact that he can have. And we saw that with Paul Pogba. We need to build a team around De Jong. And to build a team around De Jong, you need to... His midfield partner is the most important thing. A midfield partner controls how much freedom De Jong can have and how much influence De Jong can have going forward on the pitch. And it's been said about, I think it's come out from the Netherlands, I think it was Marcel who said it from the Netherlands, Van der Kroon, whatever it's called. I think he said, Eriksen and Frenkie De Jong are so pivotal to how Erik Ten Hag wants to play. They're so important influence in the way that Ten Hag wants to play an attack. He wants to recreate the Ajax and Barcelona sort of attacking style. But for Frenkie De Jong to have that freedom and influence in attack, he needs to have a good, defensive midfield partner next to him, which is why I'm certain that Erik Ten Hag will want a defensive midfield partner for Frenkie De Jong. But I don't know if he'll get one because, managers want things and they don't get it. We wanted Kroos, we got Marouane Fellaini. We wanted Benzema, Sir Alex got Michael Owen. Ollie wanted Bellingham, Grealish, he wanted Haaland that January and he got a Gala, but he wanted Bellingham, Grealish and Sancho. He ended up with Pellistri, Ahmad and Donny, Tellez and Cavani, who've all been useless. It's not fair on Donny to call him useless because it's not his fault. It's not fair on Ahmad because he's young, but do you know what I mean? Like, the manager doesn't always get what they want, but I'm confident from what we've heard that Ten Hag will want a sort of a defensive-minded midfielder to obviously partner Frenkie De Jong. Whether he'll get that or not, we'll have to wait and see. As Gaz put there, the board is clueless. Smash your like if you think the board is clueless, and please do hit that like button. We've got over 300 people watching, so let's go for 300 likes. And please do subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new and you want to stay up to date with all the latest news. But De Jong is the new face of Manchester United. He's about to be, and I tell you what, we've got some De Jong news to get into and all of that as well. But as Gaz says, make sure you subscribe as well. But the Martinez I'm talking about is not Lautaro Martinez. It is Lisandro Martinez, the centre-back at Ajax. I've seen people say on Twitter, Lisandro Martinez is a CDM. Now, I haven't watched much of Ajax play. I did watch a few of their later games. He's a centre-back. He's only played centre-back for them. Why are people saying he's a CDM? I don't know. Unless I'm missing something, he's a centre-back as well. 200 million in his hand. He is not tired. I mean, he's reportedly got maybe 200 million, but we'll have to wait and see if that's a fact as well. Another round of dividends coming out. Yeah, a limited spend seems likely. Meanwhile, the mess our squad is in, it's the owners and board fault. Spot on. I think it's an absolute joke they're taking money in dividends. We haven't signed anyone. Arsenal are looking to have one of the best transfer windows ever. And Arsenal spent more money than us last year and are going to spend more money than us this year. And they finished above us. Tottenham having a brilliant transfer window. City and Liverpool, we're not going to catch them even if they had a poor transfer window. They've both had a good transfer window. Chelsea are making moves. We finished 6th. All the teams above us have had better transfer windows than us, yet we're faffing around with our freaking dividends. It's a joke. You don't deserve to pay yourself dividends if you can't sign a bloody player. You've got a new manager and there's bigger priorities in your freaking dividends. You've got, you know what? Sort out your hairline, sort out your head before you sort out the dividends. It winds me up, because we've got bigger priorities. But at the end of the day, when the people that run your club are absolute, we're not going to say the word, but you know what, we've got many words to describe them. It's frustrating because they will prioritise commercial success over football success, which for me is not on. Now, I do want to get into the De Jong news, and don't worry, I'll give you relevant De Jong updates. I'm not going to say, oh, this journalist said De Jong's getting closer, because we've had enough of that. I will get into the Timber news, the Martinez news, and all of that. So please do smash that like button. Please do subscribe down below if you're new, and just let me know about the quality, because we've been having Wi-Fi. So Avram needs Manscaped, says Gaz, yeah. But like, subscribe, and share as well. But we are on the road to 40,000 subscribers, as Rebuild said, so please do. But talking of Martinez, this is what I wanted to get into. And Andrew said that Martinez was brilliant as a centre-back. Play him there or don't buy him. He's already second choice after we failed on Timber. We failed on Timber. It's been made clear from good journalists our second choice is Martinez from Ajax. I think he's the one we need to go for. One, I'd like Martinez because Arsenal want him, and I would like to take an Arsenal target to banter Arsenal. Two, I want Martinez because he's our second choice after Timber. You've got to get the second choice if you can't get the first choice, because if you're going for a third choice, that's embarrassing. Three, he's only £30-odd million, so he's not going to cost us a lot. And Bailly will go to Nzabi and Jones we want to get rid of. Whether we'll get rid of them or not, we'll have to wait and see. And fourth of all, he's a good centre-back, and Eriksen can trust him, and he knows how to play the Eriksen way. So hopefully that's who we get as well. But let me get into the Martinez news for you guys. Let me know if there's any issues as well. But we've got a few things to talk about regarding Martinez. Now, this has come out from the Netherlands, good sources as well, and it's been translated, I think, by the European lad. But Mike Way, very good journalist, he basically told us, Timber, he told us the whole scoop on Timber LVG. He's told us that Ten Hag was coming, and this guy hasn't missed yet. Mike has not missed yet this transfer window, and he said that United are preparing an offer for Lisandro Martinez. He's saying we're preparing an offer. He said, he added to this, after not being able to sign during Timber, Manchester United have switched their attention to Lisandro Martinez, who Erik Ten Hag has known for 3 years. Meanwhile, Arsenal could also return with another offer for the player. He followed it up by saying, Arsenal informed Ajax they're willing to pay €30 million, which is £26 million for Martinez, but they refused it. If Manchester United dig deeper than that, Ajax will have a decision to make. They will only sell if there's an offer they cannot refuse. Now, I think it's being reported that United would have to pay £34 million, €40 million for him, which I think is decent money, and that, Arsenal aren't willing to pay that, or they're digging around. Now, there's two things that could be happening with Lisandro Martinez to United. We've been linked to him before. We know Ten Hag's got an interest in him, but we've always known the priority at centre-back for Man United has been Jurriën Timber. This whole time, the defender, the centre-back that Manchester United want is Jurriën Timber. He's always been the priority. We've missed out on Jurriën Timber. Jurriën Timber to United is very, very unlikely. I think there's still a chance, but I think it's very unlikely. His head's been turned by Van Gaal. He is only 21. Unless Ten Hag can give him these promises and say you're going to play, which I think he will play, but, I think Jurriën Timber's gone. So Man United going in for Martinez completely makes sense. Ten Hag wants an Ajax centre back. He's not going to cost more than Timber would have cost. We have been linked to him in the past. I'm sure that he is second option. I think Pau Torres could potentially be second option, but maybe it's Martinez. The thing I'm worried about, and we had this with Vitinha, who's gone to PSG, is that this could be a strategy to hurry up Arsenal in signing him. Now, we had good journalists saying that we were in for Vitinha. We were very close for Vitinha. We're preparing a bid. Like, this is a deal that United are trying to get done. We had good journalists linking us to Vitinha. And it turned out that we just got played by Jorge Mendes. So PSG would hurry up and pay the money that Porto wanted for Vitinha, and he got his move. Now, Arsenal are faffing about with Lisandro Martinez. We know you from David Ornstein, who's a tier 1 source, that this is Arsenal's next target. This is the guy they want in. I know they're working on Rafinha, but they also want this guy. And we know this from a tier 1 source. I'm worried that Ajax or his agent could be playing a game with the United links to hurry up Arsenal. And we get FABRIZIO Romano come out next week saying there was never an interest, because the only centre-backs Romano spoken about are Torres and Timber to United, not Martinez. Now, I'm sure there's an interest in Martinez, and I actually think Mike Way is a very credible journalist, and I don't think what he's saying is a lie, but maybe an agent or someone at Ajax could have told Mike Way this to maybe scare Arsenal into making their move for Martinez, because we know from Ornstein that is who they're focusing on. So it's a situation where Man United, according to a very good journalist, are preparing an offer for Martinez. We're going to put in a bid for Martinez, and we're willing to pay €40 million for him. but we also know Arsenal in for him. And I don't know if we're getting played because of, you know, they want Arsenal to get him and we're getting played. I don't know if it's because we've missed out on Timber that we're going in for Martinez, which would make complete sense. But it is a good journalist saying this. But I think this transfer market, we've really learnt that we can't trust a lot of journalists. Like, I think we've all learnt that because, you know, Jonathan Schrager is a good journalist. He is a good journalist. And he was saying we're going to get Vitinha. We didn't get him. He went to PSG. Romano, then a couple hours later, said we'll never in for Vitinha. You know, a lot of journalists are clickbaiting us. And, you know, I don't know if they're intentionally clickbaiting us. I don't know if they're getting played by agents. But there's not, you know, we have been linked to over 100 players this transfer window. And the problem with Man United is everyone knows Man United gets clicks. I mean, if I see something about Man United linked to a player and I've never heard of the journalist that writes it, I still read it because it's United. And, you know, there's a lot of people out there will say United for this player and for this player and for this player. And you've got to ignore it. Now, I trust these people. I trust Mike Way. He's a very good source. And I don't think he'd lie. But I think with Martinez, could he be getting played by his agent at Ajax to sweep Arsenal in? Because right now with United, we've had good journalists. I'm talking like Alex Crook, Schrager. They're not bad journalists saying we're in for this Vitinha guy that we're never in for because they got played by Jorge Mendes. And I think, you know, good journalists get played by the agents, bad journalists make stories up. And I think we're in a situation really where you can only really listen to what Laurie Whitwell, David Ornstein or Romano says at the moment, because we have good journalists linking us to good players and then all of a sudden we're never in for them. I believe that Mike Way is right and that we are in for Lisandro Martinez because it really links up with the news about Jurrien Timber. The news has been coming in about Jurrien Timber. United not in for him. He's now going to stay at Ajax and all of that. The Martinez link makes sense, but I also know from Ornstein this is Arsenal's target, and I don't want to be played as, you know, an opportunity for Arsenal to get him. Obviously, we'll have to wait out and see what happens. I'm just bored because Man United rumours here. Yeah, honestly, the rumours are getting boring, honestly. Ajax are being picked, Glean, says Daniel. That's the thing as well. We want Ajax players. We've got to hurry up and get them as well. Pau Torres is a good option as well. One to our next options. Believe Pau is available for a fair fee. Yeah, I think Pau Torres will be available for less than his release clause, maybe £40 million, which won't be too bad. We're only 76 likes away from 200 likes, guys. So please do smash that like button, subscribe down below, and share the video. We should get Badiashile. Not seen him play much, but I know he's a good up and coming centre back. We're linked to him in the past. And no centre back will enter the rotation of them. Will start on the bench. I don't know. There's a report that Maguire and Varane is 10 starting centre back pairing, but I think if we got an Ajax centre back, it would be an Ajax centre back and Varane as well. As long as the Glazers are there, we're doomed for eternity. We'll smash the like button if you like the Glazers. And I saw a good comment here. What's this comment saying? Eriksen's 100% confirmed. Spurs dropped out the race for him, so it could only be between United and Brentford. Of course, he'll choose United. Yeah, I'm very confident Eriksen to United will happen, and I am going to get into the Eriksen news. You make a very good point there, but why aren't we in for Edson Alvarez instead of Lisandro Martinez? Edson Alvarez is exactly what we're missing. I agree, and Ajax fans think that he's more likely to leave than Martinez, and I hope that we do go in for Edson Alvarez. Laurie Whitwell did link us to him very briefly, but he's probably a name that we're considering. I don't think he's the most amazing CDM, but he's what we need in the profile that we need, and I think he could do definitely a job. So I do want to get into the Eriksen news. I do want to get into the Frenkie De Jong news, but I will basically say I think Eriksen to United is going to happen. I really think Eriksen to Man United will happen, and I will get into why in a second. We are so bad in the transfer window after getting new people in. Why are we so bad? Because the Glazers do not want to spend money. They will do anything to save a bit of money. Eriksen sounds good on paper, but we have 2 cam options already with Bruno and Donny, not an urgent priority. You're spot on, Andrew. I agree with that. I like Eriksen. If Ten Hag wants him, get him. He is 3. I think it's a good signing. The only thing I don't like about the Eriksen deal to United is I worry Man United are going to go, oh, Eriksen counts as a signing. He's a free signing. Man United, Ten Hag wants 5 players, and United will be like, yeah, we did get 5 players. Yeah, but one of your 5 players was fucking Eriksen. He's 3, so you can get 6 players. That's the only thing I'm worried about. But I don't think Eriksen's an absolute priority. But from what's being reported, Eriksen's going to be really important in shaping the way Ten Hag wants to play going forward. Maybe giving Bruno a bit of competition and all of that. And maybe if we do get Eriksen, we might not get a right winger. Because maybe we'll ship Bruno on the right. Donny can do a job on the right. Ama Pelestri can do a job on the right. Garnacho can do a job on the right. Rashford, Sancho can. Sholatiri and Medjugorje, they can all play on the right as well. So it's an interesting one with Eriksen, but I think we will get Eriksen. I want to get into the Eriksen news because, again, this has come out from a good source of information. Well, some of them are good sources, some of them not so much. But Fabrizio Romano spoke about Eriksen. Romano said the other day that Christian Eriksen, well, he actually said this morning or last night I think it was, he said that Christian Eriksen will make a decision on his future club. Manchester United have confirmed their interest to sign him. While Brentford is still in the race, Tottenham are now focused on a right-back, centre-back and striker. Fabrizio Romano's kind of pretty much said Tottenham aren't interested for Eriksen. It was also said by good journalists last week that Eriksen's ruled out staying at Brentford, and that Eriksen's unlikely to stay at Brentford and unlikely to stay in London. So Fabrizio Romano's kind of ruled out Eriksen to Spurs. Other journalists have ruled out Eriksen to Brentford. United, Brentford and Spurs were the only sides in for Eriksen. So that leaves just United left. So surely Eriksen's going to end up at United unless a team really swoops in for him and gives him an offer he can't reject. United will probably offer him the most wages. Easy. He's not guaranteed game time, but if you're 30 and you haven't got much left of your career, you want to be playing at a top club. Spurs are in the Champions League, but we are Man United. He was linked to us when he was at Spurs. I think Eriksen to United will happen. I will say this now. If he's not going to Spurs and if he's not going to Brentford, where's he going to go? United. I think we will get Eriksen. I think it will take time. I think he'll be thinking about this decision, because this is the last big move of his career, but I think we'll get Eriksen. Because Alistair Gold, again, decent journalist, I'd say he's a good source of information, said, again, Tottenham Hotspur were last in contact with Eriksen 2 weeks ago, but have not followed up since, and that Eriksen is no longer keen on staying in London. So we've had a good source saying Eriksen doesn't want to stay in London, and we've also had a good source saying that Tottenham are distanced themselves from Eriksen. He was linked to United, Brentford, Tottenham. It's now coming out that he's not interested in Brentford or Tottenham. So surely he could only go to United. And it's been coming out from good journalists, especially from the Netherlands, about Ten Hag's plan for Eriksen and De Jong, and how Eriksen and De Jong are his two priority signings. He's going to build a team around the way Eriksen and De Jong will play, because Eriksen and De Jong are going to shape the attacking style. I think Eriksen will happen. Will it be the first signing or not? I don't know, because it's a free transfer. It's an easy one to do, but we are solely focused on De Jong as well. Eriksen, free transfer, not a bad transfer as well. This guy says we need depth in the squad. This season's schedule is messed up due to World Cup. Rotation is very much essential. Eriksen will be a good addition. I do agree with that point as well. We only buy free at best in the transfer window. I'm worried United are going to count Eriksen as a signing. I'm happy for us to sign Eriksen, but let's not pretend that he's a big signing. He's a free agent. He's a free agent. You sign Eriksen and you sign 4 other players at least. Martinez can play centre-back, full-back and CDM. I've never seen him play CDM, but I'm going to trust you on that he can. But I think we'll be buying him to play centre-back as well. We've got Liverpool fans in the chat. All right, Liverpool fans. I know we're rubbish at the moment. We haven't signed anyone. But it will take time and we'll be back. Being positive about United for a change. Being positive. Eriksen's a big risk. It is and it isn't, because it's a free transfer. It's not an essential transfer. He'd only be here for a year or two. He'd be a squad player. I don't think Eriksen's a big risk, but I don't think Eriksen solves problems. I don't think we can say, Eriksen and De Jong, that's the midfield sorted. No, it's not, because you haven't replaced Matic. De Jong's replacing Pogba. Eriksen's replacing Mata. You need someone to replace Matic. You haven't done that. For me, De Jong replaces Pogba. Eriksen replaces Mata. We still need a Matic replacement, okay? Greenwood, we need a replacement for him. Cavani, we need a replacement for him. Okay, Lingard, we don't need a replacement for Lingard, because he was just an extra player that we didn't need and should have gone to West Ham. That's what we need right now. United are reportedly going to sign 5 players. So this has come out from Luckhurst, who obviously gets inside information from Man United, saying we're going to sign 5 players. Well, who are those 5 players going to be? De Jong, Eriksen. That's 2. No, I'm going to say Timber it was, but I don't think we'll get Timber. So I'm going to go with Malacia, because a good source has linked us to Malacia. I'm going to go with Martinez. And then the 5th one, I'll go with Anthony. But I named 5 players that United will sign, and I didn't name the CDM. And that worries me. That worries me, because I'm thinking of the 5 players we've had the strongest links to. None of them are a defensive midfielder. We've had links to defensive midfielders, but nothing strong. And if we're signing 5 players and Eriksen counts as one of them, the other 4... centre-back, full-back, De Jong, Hull. Who's that one? Is it Anthony? Could it be another midfielder? We'll have to wait and see. I do want to get into the Frenkie De Jong news right now, guys. So make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new as well. Louis van Gaal's a jerk. Louis van Gaal did sabotage the Timber deal. The Timber deal wasn't completely off. The Timber deal could happen, but honestly, it's unlikely. Louis van Gaal should be straight up sacked because he blackmailed Timber. I mean, I feel like that, but he can do what he wants to do. I generally don't see another midfielder coming, unfortunately, and I'm the same with you, Andrew. I'm trying to think positively. I'm trying to look at the positives, but I think Andrew's right. I don't see one coming. I expect Ten Hag will have a basic idea of who is leading, and he will need squad depth. I think he is. Obviously, we've had the 5 players that are left on a free. Dean Henderson will go, so that'll be a goalie. I know he wants to get rid of Wan-Bissaka, Bailly, and Phil Jones. The question is, with their wages, with United, what we are like getting rid of players, will we get rid of them? And I think it's an awkward situation for Ten Hag because he knows he wants to get rid of, but he can't get rid of them until we get rid of them. And it's, we've got to find someone to buy them. And the players he wants to get rid of could be here, and he might have to make use of them because you can't bring in until you buy in certain areas. Timber's not coming because of the board failed to sell Timber the project, not what LVG said. LVG only said, don't go if you want to play. Again, that's a solid point there from Andrew. I think that Louis van Gaal influenced it, but at the end of the day, the board could have done a better job on selling the project to Timber and guaranteeing him game time. Because if we guarantee Timber game time, surely he would come as well. What's the use of an offer? An offer is rejected constantly because it's a low offer. Well, reportedly, the De Jong offer is going to be rejected again. But let me get into that news as well. So it's come out from Spain that Manchester United will now approach with a closer fee to what Barcelona were asking for, and the new proposal would be 75 million euros plus variables. Man United reportedly, from a decent source, going to make a 64 million pound bid plus variables, which is what Barcelona would accept. And the fixed variables would be 5 million, raising it to 69 million pounds, which I'm sure Barcelona would probably accept because this deal has been going on for too long. It's also been said by Lucas that United are making progress in discussions for De Jong, and it was also saying that United and Barcelona were currently 15 million apart in their valuation, but United's new offer would only make them 5 million apart. So we're 15 million apart when we made the first inquiry last week, the first bid last week, and the next inquiry would only put us 5 million apart. I think that's something that Barcelona could maybe compromise on. It was also said that talks ongoing between Barca and Man United, and there is hope that the breakthrough will happen this week, and United are determined not to drag this deal out anymore. I mean, honestly, United are determined not to drag this deal out anymore. Thank you fucking God, because this deal has been dragged out way too long. And Romano also did speak about Frenkie De Jong to United and said United are prepared to pay De Jong the salary, blah, 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 blah. Romano sort of suggested and hinted that the De Jong deal will be done this week and that United are preparing a second bid this week. And good journalists Mike Way and Romano have basically said, Romano's basically saying we're preparing a De Jong bid this week, and obviously Mike Way saying we're preparing an offer for Martinez. So this week, reportedly, it seems like things could happen. United making offers for De Jong and Martinez this week, which, that's from decent journalists saying that. We'll have to wait and see if it happens. It's Manchester United, but 2 decent journalists saying we're going to make an offer for 2 decent players next week, which I think is big, big news. So guys, do make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. It costs nothing to subscribe. It's completely free to subscribe. So if you want to be kept up to date with all the latest news, do click that subscribe button, because it seems that stuff's going to happen this week. Martinez, Eriksen, Frenkie De Jong. It seems that this week is going to finally be the week that United get something done. And, it has to be done this week, because it would be an outrage. It would be an outrage if it's not done this time next week. If we haven't got one player in by this time next week, it'll be an outrage, because this is Monday. Next Monday, Man United players return to training. The 27th, a week today, Man United players return to training. Ten Hag wanted his players in for training. He's got no one in and no one out yet. And that is a disgrace. And I don't think, with this being his first season, with this being a new manager, I don't think United could afford to have no one in for Ten Hag's first training session new in the middle of a rebuild, when Liverpool and City and Arsenal and Spurs have all signed 3 players, and Chelsea, who are basically ownerless, have got a player in. I don't think United could actually face themselves. And I think Ten Hag would be fuming. There are reports that Ten Hag is mad. And I think literally United have their first signing in this time next week. I think this time next week, training begins and we'll see a new face in training. Or they'll be doing a medical or something, because, Ten Hag wanted his business done by June 27th. We're a week away from June 27th. We've got no one. Reportedly this week, Martinez offer, De Jong offer will be made this week. And we've obviously made an Eriksen offer, which apparently he's willing to accept this week. So hopefully we could get to the 27th with 3 players in. I'd be shocked. I don't think that's going to happen. But I think this time next week, there has to be 1 player at the club, because that's what Ten Hag wanted. And so I do think big news is going to come out. So I will say, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, with the post notification bell on, because the minute a deal is done, I will be live. The minute there is a big news update, I'll do a video or I'll be live to keep you guys up to date. So if you want to know as soon as we sign someone, as soon as we buy someone, or if the De Jong deal's basically done, I'll let you know, because obviously we'll get a here we go and we'll know the De Jong deal is done about a week before United announce it. So do make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the De Jong, Martinez and Eriksen latest. If there's any updates on Timber and other players as well, I will be live, but something's going to happen this week. I think there's going to be a big video this week, and I'm quite confident of it, because I don't think we can go back to trading having signed no one and having sold no one. And if we do sign or sell someone, again, as I said, I'll be live, so do subscribe. Please do smash that like button as well, by the way, guys. It will mean a lot, and share the video as well. Timo Werner available, should we take him? I'd take Timo Werner, but that's an unpopular opinion of mine. I do like Timo Werner. Do you think Barca could be pissed off by us and may call this deal off completely? No, Barcelona need the money. They're desperate for Bernardo Silva. Xavi doesn't want him. Like, Barcelona want to get rid of him, so no. De Jong will not be in training next week. He got extra time off because of international matches. You make a good point. But I think United will want that deal done by next week, so he'll be ready to return and he can do his medical and stuff as well. Yeah, this week United ain't signing anybody slow board. I think we have to sign someone this week. I don't think we can drag this on for another week. I literally think we haven't got a choice. We just have to go out and sign someone, because it's been dragging on and on and on. And maybe it'll be Eriksen, a free deal, and United will go, oh, we signed someone, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, Eriksen on a free. But, United will see that as a big signing, won't they? Fabrizio Romano had spoken about a player linked to United, and that was Malcolm from Derby, the young attacker, and he said that United really want him, but I don't think he's going to come. So basically, we've been rejected by an 18-year-old from Derby. We've also been linked to David Ram, the Dutch fullback, the German fullback for 30 million euros. Personally, myself, I think Malacia is better value for money as well. There's reports coming out that Wan-Bissaka now wants to fight for his place at Man United, and it's like we can't sell the Deadwood, so now they all want to stay, and it's silly, isn't it? I think the problem with the Deadwood is, and we can't get rid of Wan-Bissaka, we can't get rid of Bailly, but we want to get rid of them, and Tellez we want to get rid of, and Williams we want to get rid of. If they know if they leave Man United, they're going to have to cut their wages in half, and unfortunately, some players are more interested in I'd rather just sit around and do nothing and get paid more than play, and maybe that's why we can't sell players. But decent journalists have said that Manchester United do want Ram. How do you say his name? I don't play FIFA anymore, so I think. But they say that United want him, and talks about the left back or left defender have taken place. Talks ongoing. This has been reported by Florian. And the talks are good, but there's still a long way to go. The transfer could happen for 30 million euros, about £25 million. But Dortmund also want the player, but they'd have to sell Schulz or Guerrero. So United definitely in for a left back, which is weird, because I guess it's not weird, because as soon as Ten Hag came in, Tellez and Brandon Williams, they were like, he don't rate them. Like, there were reports coming out in the first week that Ten Hag didn't rate Tellez or Brandon Williams. I think Tellez will probably rate Luke Shaw. People will probably be like, not Tellez, sorry. I think Ten Hag will probably rate Luke Shaw. People will be like, really? Will he rate Luke Shaw? But with Luke Shaw, you don't know what you get. There's inconsistency and there's injury issues. So I understand why we want a left back. But again, we'd have to sell Tellez and Brandon Williams to get a left back in. We'll be able to sell them as well. Fabrizio Romano spoke about Christian Eriksen to United, and Romano's confirmed that United are seriously interested in Christian Eriksen. They're waiting for the player's answer. Brentford have not given up. Tottenham have other priorities. So Romano's basically come out and confirmed that it's between United and Brentford for Christian Eriksen. I think we'll get Christian Eriksen. I think he'll be a United player. What's good about Romano saying this is when Romano says we're interested in the player, we are. Romano's a journalist and people don't like him. People call him a tapping merchant and all of that. But Romano, in terms of credibility, maybe he still thinks to other journalists and all that, but Romano won't tweet something unless he knows it's real. And we have good journalists saying we were in for Vitinha. Romano said we weren't, and we weren't. We were being used by PSG. And Romano is confirmed the Eriksen interest is real, and it is between United and Brentford to sign Eriksen. And, maybe that'll be our first signing. I still think De Jong will be our first signing, but we're also in for the Hoffenheim fullback as well. But it also came out from James Robson that De Jong and Eriksen are seen as a pair by Ten Hag, and it's a pair Ten Hag want because they're going to influence the style of play, and Ten Hag wants better manipulators on the ball and players that can get possession in tight areas. I think Ten Hag's watched United play, watched how he thinks about how he wants to play, and United don't keep possession well in midfield. We're not the best passers in midfield, which pretty much sums up why we want Eriksen and De Jong. And I think Eriksen and De Jong will be our first two signings. I am very confident, and people will call me crazy. People can call me deluded. You can call me what you like. But I am very confident United will get De Jong and Eriksen. I'm very confident they will be Man United players next season. We will have to wait and see, though, as well. But yes, guys, please do smash that like button. Please do subscribe down below as well. Andrew says that he likes Shaw, but he frustrates me. He bombs ahead, but rarely hits early crosses, too many touches in possession. I do agree with that as well. There will be no signings until the new kits are released. You make a very good point here. Joel Glaze is in the chat. But yes, guys, please do click that like button. Please do click that subscribe button. Wan-Bissaka will be a good centre-back. He can't be worse than Maguire. His positioning's awful, and he would let so many crosses in. He hasn't got the physicality as well. This guy says Man United's perfect signing in the window would be Hedera, Martinez, De Jong, Anthony. Yeah, Eriksen. It wouldn't be a bad window. Still think there's something missing, but yeah, I like Malacia if we sign a left back, but we're crying out for a right back more. And I was about to say this. This is what I agree with Andrew here. I think a right back is needed more than a left back, and Malacia is my option. I've only watched him play once, and that was for Feyenoord in the Conference League final in the second half. I barely watched him play. I'm not going to lie, but he was good. He was good, and he's cheaper than the other one, so I prefer him. Because I haven't watched the other one play. I'm not going to lie. You know, really, do you know what really annoys me? Okay, and some people do, but like, Arsenal. They signed this Fabio Vieira guy, and every single Arsenal YouTuber, TikToker, and all of that was like, yeah, he's such a good player. He does this, this, and this, and this, and this. And I'm thinking, have you watched him play? Have you watched him play more than 3 games? I guarantee you, half of them had never watched Fabio Vieira play more than 3 games. And they'll be saying, oh, he's a great signing. He does this, this, and this, and this. You know, for me, I look at a player once or twice, and I think they're a good signing after watching them play once or twice. But I've only watched some of these left backs play once or twice. So, I mean, I don't know who the best fullback signing is, but from the once or twice I watched this fullback play, I thought Malacia was good, and I'll be 100% honest as well. Let me just scroll down the chat. Thank you very much, Rob, for the super chat. He's given us a good quote here, saying that Manchester United have discussed Antony's name internally with Erik ten Hag, waiting to understand the price that AJAX will require from the Brazilian star. And this is news coming in from Fabrizio Romano. So big up, Rob, with the update there. United are interested in Antony. I don't know if AJAX will sell the whole team. I don't know how many more players AJAX will sell with 3 already out, but there is an interest in Antony. I think Timber was our #1 priority from AJAX. That's not going to happen. I think the AJAX players we're now looking at are Martinez, Alvarez, and Antony. And, you know, the player we've been linked the most strong with after Timber from AJAX is Antony. We know we've held talks with Antony and Timber's representatives. Antony to United is a deal to keep out on. Romano said that as well. So I think for me, United want 5 signings. If I was going to predict them, Antony, Eriksen, De Jong, that's 3. The 4th would have been Timber, but we ain't getting him. Martinez maybe 4th, and then 5th, a left back. It could be Rom, it could be Malacia. The only thing I don't like about those 5 names is we haven't got a Matic replacement. And we needed a Matic replacement when Matic was at the club. Matic is no longer at the club. So we need a Matic replacement even more now, but we've not even thought about it. And I really, really hope, if I was going to sign a player from AJAX, now my #1 player I'd sign from AJAX would be Timber. Now we can't get Timber, or it's unlikely that we're going to get Timber. I'd go for Edson Alvarez. I like Antony, I like Martinez. I'd take half the AJAX squad. I would have taken Gravenbach, I would have taken out Edson Alvarez, I would have taken Timber, I would have taken Antony. I generally would have taken half the squad because we're crazy. But I do still worry because we do need to look at a DDM. There's still a chance for Timber. I think Timber not coming, as Andrew said, was us failing to convince the board. You know, our board failing to convince Timber to come. I think Louis van Gaal swayed Timber's mind, but maybe if Erik ten Hag rings him up and sells in the project and all of that, there's still hope. Maybe we can change his mind back. But again, it's up to the board. You know, it's up to the board. If can they influence Timber? Can we influence Timber to change his mind? Timber was this close to joining United. Timber to United was 99% going to happen. It was so close to happening. He went on international duty and Van Gaal swayed his head. It's up to United to go back and see if they can get Timber. Maybe we make a move for Timber in January, possibly. Maybe we sign him and loan him back. Please do subscribe, as Gaz says. Big up Gaz as well. Someone said Ronaldo's leaving. It's been reported that Ronaldo won't leave. Garnacho's our trump card. United are set to offer Garnacho a new 6-year contract. Garnacho is going to be lifted into the squad by Ten Hag, and Ten Hag rates him highly. I think there's a big future for Garnacho. And AJAX just want one of the 3 Antony, Timber, Martinez. I think we'll only be able to sign one of these three players. And I think right now it's probably Anthony. Although good journalists are saying we're going to put in a bid for an offer for Martinez, but we'll have to wait and see as well. If Frenkie De Jong signs, maybe Timber will join. I think once De Jong is done, we will go back in for Timber, and I think maybe Ten Hag can convince Timber to come. I don't think Timber's completely gone. I don't think the Timber deal's in the dust. But I think once Frenkie De Jong is done, I think we'll have an indication of who we're getting next. I know Frenkie De Jong and Eriksen 100% targets, and I'm 90% sure we will get De Jong and Eriksen. I'm 90% sure De Jong and Eriksen will be done. I know we're interested in Anthony. I know we're interested in Timber. I know we're interested in Martinez. I know we're interested in Malacia. I know we're interested in a lot of players. But I don't, I think we can sit here right now and go, okay, Eriksen and De Jong, 90% sure they'll be United players. We want them. I think once we've got Eriksen and De Jong that are pivotal to Ten Hag's plans, we'll know our budget for the rest of the players, and I think we'll get an indication in the coming weeks of who else are we getting. Because if it's 5 signings, who else are we getting? And apparently the reason we're only focusing on De Jong and the only reason we're going in for De Jong and no one else at the moment is because United want to know how much budget they've got left to focus on players. But it seems that De Jong will probably cost us £69 million. It was 68 million pounds, sorry, because we paid, I think it's something like that. It's going to be 70 million euros plus 10 million euros add-ons, which would equal 68 million pounds. Barcelona holding out for 74. United were trying to get him for 60. I think they're going to negotiate, and I think we will come to an agreed fee of about 68 million pounds this week. Romano said that United are going to put an offer in this week, and I think if United are going to put in a second offer, it's going to be serious. United normally put in a first silly offer, but I think if they're going to put a second offer, it'll be serious. People saying that personal terms aren't even agreed yet and all of that. Officially and formally, personal terms are not agreed, but personal terms will not be an issue. United know who will agree to personal terms. They know that they've got a verbal agreement almost on that. So I think this week could be personal terms, and I think this week could be bid, bish, bash, bosh, done. Because Romano said we're preparing a serious bid this week, and I don't think we're going to faff about on this much longer. Arnold's gone and told the United fans, Arnold's gone and told the United fans, yeah, De Jong's going to get wrapped up. We've got official people in Barcelona. I think United are going to wrap up De Jong this week. I don't think United plan to work on Frenkie De Jong much longer. And I think the next bid we put in, which is reportedly going to be this week, I think will be the bid to get this deal done. I don't think I'll be sitting here next week saying Frenkie De Jong's getting closer. And look, I've been talking about De Jong for 6 weeks. I'm fucking fed up of it. But I do generally believe that it's going to be done this week. I just think that they can't drag it on much longer, especially with training back on the 27th. Imagine failing to sign someone before the first day of training, especially as well as failing to get rid of anyone. It would be an embarrassment. Liverpool have got 3 players. City have got 3 players. Arsenal have got 3 players. About to get freaking Rafinha in, and maybe even Tielemans, that's 5, and maybe even Martinez, which is 6. Spurs have got 3 players, and then they're focusing on Spence and 2 other players. That could be 5, 6. And they all finished above us, and when we've done nothing, we've got a new manager in. We need new players more than anyone because we need players that are going to suit the new manager's style. We need to start a rebuild, but we also need new players because we underperformed massively as well. Ronaldo is going nowhere, absolutely spot on. I'd be very surprised if Ronaldo left. Imagine Alice rants next week. It doesn't. Honestly, if we don't have a player in, or if we don't get De Jong wrapped up in the next week, there will be a rant. Look at what Rafinha's going for, 70 to 75 million euro for age. Frenkie De Jong quota fee is quite fair, get it done. Yeah, if Arsenal pay that much for Rafinha, Arsenal are getting mugged off. That's how much they pay for Pepe. Arsenal, to be fair, I think Rafinha to Arsenal is a good deal, but imagine spending 72 million on Pepe, him flopping, and spending 72 million on Rafinha to play in the same position. I mean, where are Arsenal getting the money from as well? Honestly. Big up Diego. He said, let's get Alice to 40,000 subscribers, so please do subscribe if you're new. Yes, guys, we are so close to, we are 1,122 subscribers away from that target of 40k. I am currently 22 subscribers away from 38.9k. We're on 38,878 subscribers. So if you're watching right now, and we've got 600 people watching right now, please do subscribe. It costs nothing. It's absolutely free. I go live every single evening on the channel discussing Manchester United, talking about United with you guys, and keeping you guys up to date on all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news throughout the transfer window. There are short videos as well, and the minutes there's a big breakthrough, I'll be live, or there'll be a video uploaded. So please do make sure you are subscribed to the channel and smash that like button as well. We will be doing watch alongs to the preseason games coming up as well, which will be exciting stuff, and it costs nothing to subscribe as well. Rice would be great. It says Rob, you 100%, but the price tag is absolutely crazy. Oh, I hope there's not been a lag spell there. I hope there's not been a lag spell there. Are we lagging? Oh, we're lagging. Oh, I just had a bit of a Wi-Fi glitch. I think we're lagging, aren't we? I am going to get into the chat. What I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to share my prediction for United's transfer window, because I think my screen is all laggy, and I don't want the screen on the thing to be laggy as well. Big up David in the chat as well. Why Arteta get what he wants for finishing fifth? Why Ten Hag gets nothing? Because unfortunately, we've got the worst board in the world. We've got awful owners, awful board, and it is a nightmare to support Manchester United from time to time as well. Laptop is just going absolutely winding my head up. 30 likes away from 300 likes, so smash that like button. Haller to Dortmund could be happening as well. I'm Frenkie De Tired. I like that one. I like that, Tom. I think the problem is Ten Hag would have talked to some of these players that they aren't fit for the squad, like Fred Maguire, McTominay. So these players trust Glazers for their advertisements, no signings. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. Interesting. I don't think Ten Hag's talked badly of any of the players. I think Ten Hag wants to get confidence up. So I don't think Ten Hag will go to Maguire. Yeah, you're not my plans. I don't want you. I think players like Wan-Bissaka and Bailly that could potentially be sold because they weren't even involved last season. He might say, look, I don't have a place for you. It's best if you leave. But I think Maguire and Rashford and Bruno are players, and Fred are players that he knows he can't sell. He knows they've got to be used next season. I think he wouldn't be saying anything negative to them. I think he'd want to get their confidence back. And we are going to get into a few more stories before I wrap up the live stream as well. Coming out in the transfer news situation, all of that. I mean, I'm fed up of it, aren't I? I think we're all fed up of it. It's that United made an inquiry for David Raum from Jonathan Schrager and good sources. Mike Way did speak about Julian Timber, and he said Julian Timber would have been a very welcome arrival at United, but Louis van Gaal has advised him to stay at Ajax. The chances of him moving to United are now very small. Samuel Luckhurst also spoke about Julian Timber and said Erik ten Hag earmarked Julian Timber as a prime defensive target. As of last week, Manchester United were hopeful in signing Julian Timber, but the uncertainty over his playing time before the World Cup has plunged the move into doubt as well. So again, journalists saying Julian Timber to United unlikely because of basically Louis van Gaal. There was also I wouldn't say a good, but I wouldn't say a bad Portuguese source, Jogo, saying that Manchester United put in a £51 million bid plus £4 million in add-ons for Porto star Ivan Lisson. However, the Portuguese side have turned down United's offer as they look to keep hold of the 22-year-old. I think we're just being used by Jorge Mendes. I think that's just a player we're being linked to with no interest whatsoever. Romano also did say on his podcast today that we've had very positive talks with Ronaldo and Ten Hag has, and that, I think it's very much expected that Ronaldo will stay at Manchester United as well. Romano did say on his Court of Side podcast that Manchester United do not want to rush decisions on players because everything will have to be approved by Ten Hag. Some fans may be frustrated by the process at United, and currently it won't be necessarily be a perfect system right away. That's an interesting thing said by Romano, but they're saying that all the players will have to be approved by Ten Hag, which is a good thing, but they're saying it won't be a perfect system right away, which you can see that in two ways. Of course, it's not going to be the perfect system right away. We're not going to be able to get 11 new players in one window. We need like 11 new players, looking at how we played last year. And I think there's things that will need to be done next season that are less of a priority, but still need to be done. But we can wait a year for it to be a perfect system. But then I also read this of, does that mean we're going to fall short on targets this year? Does that mean it won't be a perfect system because we're going to fall short on targets this year? Or is it a perfect system because there's players we'll have to go in for next year as well? It has been said that Christian Eriksen has decided to join Man United, according to Juan Roberto, but he's one of them ITK accounts. So personally, I wouldn't believe it. There's a couple of them, clickbait journalists saying that Eriksen's already agreed to join United. There's not been an official agreement. I think Eriksen to United is going to happen. I think he will choose United, but it's not come out from a top journalist that he's officially agreed yet. Romano did say on Frenkie De Jong, and he said this today, that this is an important week for De Jong to Man United. I expect a new bid to arrive in the coming days. So again, Romano confirming he expects the De Jong bid to come in the coming days. And Romano said that he expects it to be a serious bid as well. And I think, I think if we do put in a bid, this will be the bid for this to go, okay. Something's going to move. Something's going to happen as well. We did it 300 likes, so big up everyone that did hit that like button. Please do subscribe if you're new. Rob says, Eriksen did say a 3-year build. I'm willing to wait 3 years to have a side that competes like the top fours do. I'm willing to wait 3 years if we're going to like Man City or Liverpool look like last season. I don't think it will take any longer than 3 years, but I think 2 good transfer windows and you put us up there. 3 good transfer windows and you're full in the title race. Thank you very much for the super sticker. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much for the support as well. I can see a very full empty hat in the background of your picture there as well, and still lots of time to unload the dead weight at Man United. Best to fix immediate issues than sell who isn't going to play. Good point as well. I do agree with that point there from Rob as well. And Joel Glazer, when you leave in our club, says Gaz. Yeah, I mean, when will they leave? I think we all want them to go. I think we're all fed up with the Glazers as well. Ronaldo secretly want to leave because no UCL. I think with the World Cup coming up and his wages and stuff, Ronaldo doesn't want to take any risks. Maybe if he got a brilliant offer, he would take that risk. But I think from what we've heard from good journalists, he's had good talks with Ten Hag. He is in Ten Hag's plans, and I think Ronaldo's more than happy at staying at Man United. I think you know, Ronaldo's quite positive at the moment, and I do expect Ronaldo to be here. Ronaldo's the type of player that would make his mind up in July and would easily change his mind in July. But I do expect Ronaldo to be at Manchester United next season. I want to kick Joel because of his name as well. Malcolm, we're unlikely to get, says Romano. Moussa Dembele, we won't get. De Jong, we will probably get. Eriksen will probably get. We could get the next guy. We haven't been linked to him. Dumfries, again, I would like that. I don't know if we'll get him. Lenglet, no. But I mean, maybe online, but no. But yeah, good options, but not Lenglet, not Lenglet or Moussa Dembele. I think we need to avoid the Barcelona Deadwood. I think we need new, fresh energy, positive energy. Pellistri better than Anthony? No, Pellistri's not better than Anthony. What are we on here? I've always said I'm not that fussed about Anthony because I do want to see Pellistri, Garnacho, and Ahmed given a chance. And if worse comes to worse, you've got Alanga, Rashford, Sancho that can all play that as well. But guys, please do smash that like button if you have not already. And of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. We are 4 subscribers away from 38.9k. 4 more people need to subscribe to 38.9k. So if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. It would be greatly, greatly appreciated. And of course, hit that like button. It's free to subscribe. It costs absolutely nothing. And I will be live every single evening this week giving you United updates. I will be doing watch along for pre-season games. There should be a short video out tomorrow as well, which I think will be a good video. And then I might do a video this week about how Eriksen, Bruno, and De Jong would maybe line up together if you do want to see that as well. So make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe down below if you're new. I am going to wrap up the live stream here. I will be back tomorrow. I think tomorrow there could be a double upload. There could be an upload in the morning and a live stream at night. There could be 2 bits of a live stream tomorrow and an upload in the morning. There could be 2 things out tomorrow. So make sure you stay tuned with that post notification bell on. It depends if I get it edited in time. But thanks everyone for tuning in. Smash a like, smash a subscribe. Big up everybody in the chat. And I will be back tomorrow. See you then and bye.